All right, next video. Now we have loaded our filament. We're happy. It's coming out right now. I want to remove that. I should have other tools here that I think are upstairs, like a pair of pliers or something. But in any case, I'm just using this. This is what I use, by the way, to remove the print. Be careful, one side is more sharper than the other. You don't want to go to the sharp side because you will tear this. And if you do tear it, not the end of the world, but you know, annoying, have to put it on again. Yeah, exactly.
With someone else.
Which I'll tell you that I hate that part. Okay, so now I'm going to click print. And because it's already warmed up, it'll immediately, not immediately, but it'll start pretty quickly. I think I had it set to 70 degrees and 215 in my settings. So, oh, let me go walk. It'll take another minute to fully reach speed. Okay, the exact temperature that was requested. Okay, so bed is 265, etc. You see, and while we wait, there's still like goop coming out, so try to get the goop off, just so it doesn't have an impact. But don't dare use your hands at this point, it'll really mess things up. So they really need my pliers. They're terrible scissors to use. Scared me. Just had the computer too close. So it's measuring the distance. It's right now, this process is called homing. Okay. So it's finding XYZ home before it starts doing stuff. It's goopity goop, but that's okay. It's gonna go to where we positioned it, and it's gonna start. Now the first layer sometimes does exactly what it's doing, which is, it looks wonky, but you see now it started sticking, so don't do that, but there. All right, so now it's gonna start. The first while, it's gonna be that raft. So the raft is the first layer that helps whatever you are printing on top of it stick real good. Okay. It's not, if the raft isn't perfect, it is not a big deal. But if it's like, if suddenly it stops printing and it has like, you see how it's not perfect there? Not a big deal. But if suddenly it stopped and then it started again, or like there was like a huge gap or a big goop or something, then you might want to consider stopping. So for the time being, all you have to do now is wait for 30 minutes, which is clearly not what we're going to do in this video. What I'm going to do in this video is tell you now what happens if something goes wrong. So what are some of the few things that can go wrong? So one of the things that can go wrong is it can stop printing. That means it got clogged, and that does happen even if you do everything perfectly from time to time. You know, the filament has bubbles and, you know, a bunch of things. So what do? So there's, the first thing that I would recommend is to click cancel. If you click cancel, it'll still keep moving for a little bit because it's basically doing commands in chunks. So its command right now is do this through all of that area, and it will keep doing it even though you click canceled. But that's okay. If it's not printing and it goes a little longer, it's not a huge deal. But it is important that this printer is watched from time to time. You don't have to be telestudents, and you too. You don't have to be like this, but you should be nearby, because if it does stop printing and you wait 30 minutes, all it's doing is it's making the clog worse and worse and worse and worse. And plus, wasted time, whatever. So that's one thing you can do. And once you click cancel, and I will show you how to click cancel and how to like move forward. I'm not going to show you how to remove a clog because that's complicated and honestly involves opening this up, and I just don't want to do it. Hopefully it won't happen. It hasn't happened in a very long time, so knock on wood somewhere.
Show me if it ever does happen.
Yes, I can show you. There's lots of videos online and stuff, or maybe we can get help from like the Maker's Edge or someone. I don't know. But the other thing that could go wrong is the part could fall over. So sometimes if you're printing something tall, sometimes it gets knocked by itself, or depending, some parts are this is a very easy part to print, but some parts are harder. So we have lots of failed prints where something was going and it just suddenly it didn't stop working. It just started looking terrible, or it got knocked on its side, like it was going like this, and it hits it and it goes down. At that point, the print is over. You're done. You have to again cancel, wait for it to finish, remove everything, wait for it to cool down, and potentially start over and go do some modifications. Okay. So look. So I'm gonna show you what happens because we don't actually want a chip clip. The other thing before I tell you that is, what if something's wrong, as in like it's smoking, or like it's something's clearly creating, no, this has never happened, but, or something just looks, or it got knocked over but it's creating an issue, or something just freaked you out, you don't know what to do, you can't afford to, or maybe the computer freezes and you can't click cancel. You can always just turn it off. Come to the button right here at the end and just like turn it off and literally shut the whole system off. It's not a great thing to do because you still then need to manually move this up so that you can remove the part, because it'll stay in its position and you can't pry the part out. So you'll have to manually pull it up, remove the part, turn everything back on, and kind of start troubleshooting. But a lot of the issues can just be solved with a simple, okay, watch what's gonna happen. I'm gonna click cancel, but it's not gonna stop immediately. It's still going, because it's finishing its command. It might not finish the whole thing, it might do a few more lines. I'm not sure how far it'll go, but it's fine, because let's say I'm not too worried. I'm upset because something's wrong, but not wrong enough for me to freak out. And you would know it stopped extruding because maybe like the last part of the print is here and this is just floating. Or sometimes it starts doing this weird like wasp nets kind of thing. Okay, rat nets, not wasp. All right, so it stopped. Well, but now how do I get it out? Okay, so you're gonna have to manually. So here you can control the directions of stuff. If you ever need it, you can home something. You can move it the X direction, Y direction. I want to move the tool up, and you see the words here, tool up. So I'm going to click on the 10. Watch out not to click tool down when it's already all the way down, because you can actually cause some damage.
Okay.
So tool up, to do it a couple times. Maybe one more time. Okay. And at this point, let's say, well, no, this is not the right size. Clearly did something wrong. You want to wait for a little while, and we will, but I won't wait too long, mostly because it should be pretty easy to pry out then, because we're making a video, but you should wait longer. And just you very gently have to start working to remove it. Watch out, because again, if you haven't given it enough time, for instance, I just bent it and I bent it permanently. Now, if this was my final part, I just ruined it. It's not, so I don't care too much, but you can also burn yourself if you're not careful. So right now I am prying it out. I'm not doing it the proper way because I'm recording a video, but there you go. And clearly I should have put glue stick in a lot more of the area. I didn't do that calculation, but you see, now it's warped forever. There's no going back from that. So see how easy it is to ruin your part? Whee! Okay, so that's what you do. And if you're done, tell everyone, because you don't have to be here the whole print, you, Lauren, but someone does. So if you're going to be here, I'll teach you how to do this. If not, you have to tell them this, that when they're done and they've removed it very gently, they have to come and turn it off by clicking in the back here and closing everything. Now, I did close it before I saw that it cooled down, but it has to cool down because I turned it off. Ideally, this would have cooled down on its own before I hard turned it off, but but at the end of the day, once everything cools off, turn everything off. And the laptop, they don't have to log out or anything. They really just have to close the screen. And that is it.